Hello, this is Sandy with Sandy's Crafty Creations, and welcome to today's 13 Frights Before Halloween. And today I'm going to be making some Halloween blocks for my mantle downstairs. And you've seen these before, others have done them, different wood blocks. These are 3x3 because I went into my husband's shop and checked and found a piece of wood just about this size, just a ½ inch or so bigger, longer, and measured it. It's 3 inches by 3 inches, so I had him cut it in 3-inch squares. I don't mess with wood saws. I cut myself with my Tim Holtz scissors now and then, so there's no way I'm going to get around a big saw. So if you're lucky enough to have a hubby who has, or someone that you know that has wood saws that can cut this for you, you might find some scraps of wood and be able to cut it. Normally you would go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a 4x4 piece of wood. 4x4s are supposed to be 4 inch by 4 inch, but they're not. They're usually 3.5 by 3.5, so that works. Mine's 3 inch by 3 inch, just about. You can find it for 3.5. Could be at Home Depot. I think they might cut them for you. You still might have to buy a whole length of wood, but then you could have several cut and make several of these. So anyway, I have this Martha Stewart vintage decor paint in beetle black, and I have my craft mat, my painting gluing craft mat out so I don't make a mess, and I'm going to start painting these and letting them dry. So I have my big wide paintbrush. Let's see how this looks. I did take my coarse side of my sanding tool and smooth the edges of where it was cut. So I'm just gonna paint these. Now I'm gonna cover these with paper so I don't have to paint all the way to the center, but it's painting on there really nice, so who knows, we'll see. And I'm gonna make sure I get it into any rough edges, and I don't care if the wood is kind of rustic or rough because I want this to look vintage, so I'm probably going to be doing some sanding on these after the paint dries. So let's just do each one here. See those cracks in the wood? This was, what did my husband say, a deck post or something that we had left over. And so he cut it down to the 3-inch size for me. That way I didn't have to go to Home Depot or anything to buy some wood. So you don't need much. If you have any scraps of wood, like a landscape post, deck post, then that would work. Or a 4x4, maybe from a neighbor or someone. And just paint this up. And I'm doing mine in black. You could paint it in orange or whatever Halloween color you want. Purple's cool. So I'm just going to keep painting this, and I'll be back once they're dry to start planning what papers I want to glue on them. Okay, I've let my blocks dry overnight, probably at least 24 hours by the time I've gotten back up here to work on them. And I have sanded on one. I used the real coarse side of my Prima Distress thing. If you have sandpaper, you can use that too. And I'm just running it along the edge, and it removes some of the paint from the edges to give it this distressed look. Because what I'm thinking that I want to do, I think I want to keep these kind of simple and probably just cover them with some cute vintage looking Halloween papers. I probably don't put any decorations on them that I can think of, but that may change, you just never know. So what you do is you decorate them up, cover them with paper the way you want them to look. And some people add, you know, B-O-O for boo. I'm not going to do that on mine. I want the look of the vintage papers, different ones on each side, so I can kind of turn them, you know, mix and match them, and then have it look good from both sides. And you can stack them or line them up, whichever you want to do. So just distressing each edge like that. So I'm going to work on this one and my last one, and then I'll pick out my papers. Got my blocks sanded, and I'm ready to add paper to each side. And I've been looking through my paper packs that I bought, and I have this one by October Afternoon called Witch Hazel, which I'm thinking it's probably a last year's, but I didn't buy it last year. I got it this year because I like some of the vintage looking papers in it. So I'm going to use this one for my blocks, and they're going to be cut, let's see, I'm going to cut them about, I'm going to cut one 2.5. I'm going to have to check this because one side's a little different than the other. So it looks like, I think I can do 2.5 by 2.5, so that'll give enough edging of the black around it. So I'm going to look at my papers, open the pack, look at my papers, and cut me some squares, and then I'll be back. Okay, I have 8 squares. I decided to go ahead and cut them 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 for the 3-inch wood blocks, or the, let me see, yeah, mine are 3-inch, yeah. And I'm inking all the edges to get them ready to glue onto the blocks. I've inked them all. I have 8 sets of 3 different papers cut and inked, and I did use the black soot Tim Holtz inks, and so I have them ready now to glue onto a block. And I'm just going to randomly I'm going to line these up so that I know which ones I'm using. 1, 2, 3, 7. So it doesn't matter in what order I'm going to do them in. I just want them all to make sure that I face the right direction, the same direction. So let me see if my glue bottle is running or clogged. When I quit the other day, it was clogged up. So here we go. So apply glue. So see, the ones that have a direction, I want to make sure think about how I'm doing this. So as this wood, we're going to have to hold this down and really burnish this to make it stick. May have to add a little more on the corner, because that glue is probably going to stick down into it. If this doesn't work, then I may have to use something else, but I think this should work. Okay, I'm going to roll this one and put a pattern here. This tree, I like this tree. So I don't know what I was thinking. We only need 6 We need 4 all the way around and then 1 on each top and end. So I have extras cut out if I decide to do a couple more blocks. So let me see which ones I want on the top and the bottom. I think I like this one here. Now you could add some of your photos on a couple of the blocks on the sides if you wanted to. I just want mine for decorative looks, so that's the way it looks right now, the one. And then I'm going to go ahead and add papers to the others. Okay, I have all 3 of my blocks covered with paper. I'm not that great with math. I told you earlier that you needed 24 pieces of squares to cover the blocks, but you don't really. You only need 6 per block. 3 blocks, 3 times 6 is 18. So that means I have these extra squares that I cut out, which is okay. If I get a chance, I may have my husband cut me out some more blocks. We'll see if he'll be willing to do that. Otherwise, I'll use them on something else. But anyway, I have these all patterned, cut out. I think they'll be really cute stacked up in different ways. And maybe tie a tool bow around the top of them. So that's how it looks like that. You can turn it, stack them long ways on your mantle. So these are really cute little Halloween blocks, very durable. If you wanted to, as I said earlier, I think you could put a Halloween pictures, your photos on the blocks like this. And I'm going to look at my stuff, see if there's anything I want to put on them extra, like maybe a chipboard sticker or something like that on these. I have these vintage sparkly things. I have a whole part of a pack left, so I'm going to decide whatever I finish doing on these, I will share with you. Okay, so I did decide to use some of my leftovers, the dimensional stickers by Anna Griffin, the Spooktacular collection. So I used the cat, the jack-o'-lantern, and the witch, and I put it on the sides of the blocks that were patterned paper. So if I want to display them, if this was sitting up on the counter like that, I think that'd be cute. Or if you just wanted 1 or 2 of them, you could do that. You can still stack them different ways. You can stack on top of the stickers. It's not going to hurt them any. But I really love these with the sparkle glitter, so I wanted to use those. And that is how I'm going to leave my blocks, because I wanted to keep them real simple. I don't know if I will tie any ribbon around them. I may. So when I get all my projects done, if I do something different with them, I will show you. But these are really quick and fun to make and a cute decoration for Halloween. Thanks for watching, and check back tomorrow for another one of my 13 Frights Before Halloween.